Hi, I'm Anthony from Mobile, Alabama, and I'm studying civil engineering.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Hey guys, I'm David, I'm from Oxford, and I'm studying computer engineering. And
We love engineering! Civil engineers keep us comfortable in our homes and places that we work, and safe in our travels. With techniques dating back thousands of years to the ancient Mesopotamians and Egyptians, civil engineering stands for one of the oldest engineering practices. For example, quoinats, long corridors dug into the rock to transport water long distances, have been known to exist for over 3,000 years. Other examples of ancient civil engineering techniques include the pyramids of Egypt, the ancient Greek Parthenon, and the Great Wall of China. Civil engineering is a vast group of different engineering practices, including construction engineering, structures engineering, material science or material science engineering, water resource engineering, transportation engineering, and environmental engineering. Construction engineers are civil engineers trained as construction site managers. They're often involved in the planning and execution of the transportation of materials, monitoring supply prices, and often engaged in more business-like transactions, such as logistical operations. When most people think of civil engineers, they quite often think of structural engineers. Structural engineers design and create buildings, canals, towers, bridges, and tunnels. Structural engineers are concerned with static equilibrium and structural integrity. They also study disasters such as bridge and building collapses. Material scientists or material engineers are often concerned with the fundamental characteristics of materials, down to the molecular or atomic level. Some of these materials include concrete, metals, polymers, and ceramics. Materials engineers strive to make these materials long-lasting and more efficient. Perhaps one of the most underappreciated civil engineers, or water resource engineers, is thanks to these men and women that we enjoy an almost unlimited supply of clean, purified water. These engineers play not only a basic role, but a very essential one in our everyday lives. Transportation engineers are concerned with moving people and equipment both safely and efficiently. Transportation engineers create streets and highways, mass transit and railway systems, shipping ports and airports. More than likely, you can thank a transportation engineer for your daily commute to work or long-distance travel. Environmental engineers, much like water resource engineers, seek ways to make purified water available to the public. Environmental engineers are also concerned with the reduction of waste, whether it be chemical, biological, or hazardous waste in general. Environmental engineers study and analyze air pollution and seek ways to reduce it. Environmental engineers also seek green energy alternatives to more conventional, more wasteful energy gathering processes. Much of the reason why I chose civil engineering is because not only will it provide myself with a successful career, but it will give me the chance to give back to the community. I'd like to work with environmental scientists and other engineers in forming policies which will improve people's lives. My goals at Auburn University are to obtain a bachelor's degree in civil engineering and move on to a master's degree in environmental engineering. From there, I'd like to go work for federal agencies such as the Department of Energy.
Chances are, if you look around, everything you see has been worked on by a mechanical engineer. It's from transportation to energy production to environmental control. The College of Mechanical Engineering here at Auburn was brought about in about 1885 because of a Land Grant Act. They offer two bachelors, the Bachelor's of Mechanical Engineering and the Bachelor's of Materials Engineering. Mechanical engineering is a very broad discipline that deals with many different things. Mechanical engineers work with heat, rotation, vibrations, different forces, and they can work with really small things like nuts and bolts and screws to making chairs, to making conveyor belts, to water vessels, and then to aircraft. Mechanical engineering overlaps with other types of engineering such as civil, chemical, manufacturing, electrical engineering. Mechanical engineering means a basic key understanding of the core concepts of mechanics, kinematics, thermodynamics, structural analysis, material science, and electricity, along with the computer-aided engineering programs to help design and analyze different products that people use on a day-to-day basis. Here at Auburn, students were able to research with professors on various topics and spend about $5.5 million on their research in the past years. Mechanical engineers generally research different things like mechatronics, nanotechnology, friction stir wielding, composites, and many other areas. With the funding from many government agencies such as the Department of Defense, NASA, the Department of Energy, students enrolled in the Auburn School of Mechanical Engineering are able to research with their professors real-world problems and further their education. One thing that led me to mechanical engineering was that when I was younger, and still to this day, somebody was showing me how to do something or explaining how something works, I always question it and see how I can make it better. Like if you handed me something and you say do this with this and set it up like this, I'm probably going to retort back, well, can't we just do this, this, and this, and hopefully make it better and easier to achieve the end product. And that is something mechanical engineers do all the time. They take a product, they design it, they try to make it better, and being able to tinker with objects and try to find the best way to do things is a good key aspect and has led me to mechanical engineering. My ultimate goal is to be able to open up my own practice with architecture. I am here studying mechanical engineering so that I will be able to have a nice education, be able to research with professors, be able to co-op, gain real-world experience for situations and problems, and be able to get my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I want my bachelor's in mechanical engineering first, so that way I can support myself in my studies for architecture, and when I get to be able to open my own practice, I have a background in mechanical engineering and architecture. I believe that the mechanical engineering will help give me background information on how things work and how to best improve what I'm trying to build.
I'm a computer engineering student here at Auburn University. Computer engineering, as a branch of electrical engineering, diffuses knowledge with computer science. This fusion allows you to design the computer hardware and the computer software that runs it. Computer engineers design everything from routers to microcontrollers to operating systems. One thing that's interesting about computer engineering is the fact that you're constantly learning because the technology that you work with changes each and every day. In computer engineering, there are two main categories. The first is hardware design and the second is software design. Hardware can be anything from the printer to the monitor to the CPU to the speakers. Anything that, just think of it like anything that you can physically touch. Software, on the other hand, is something that's of the imagination, but it makes your everyday life easier. It can be anything from like iTunes that allows you to have some fun to useful stuff like weather or bank accounts. I'm much more interested in the software side of things because I feel like over time, software compared to hardware is going to expand so much more rapidly. From a study done from the year 2012 to 2022, software has a predicted growth rate of 22% versus only 7% for hardware. I feel like this is so because if you think about it, software runs everything in our everyday lives. Anything from our cars to our computers to our cell phones to our coffee makers to our fax machines. Coding languages such as Java or HTML5 are pretty much universal for all of these things. So once you learn it and you build up your database of information, it's pretty much easy to go and build anything from there. One thing I like about software more than hardware is when you're building something, you're actually building something without any physical labor. I chose computer engineering because everything about computers fascinates me. I love all of the technical skill and all of the technical design that goes into the development of these amazing machines. If I were to put it in perspective for you, it reminds me of something like a car. People that love cars, it's like popping the hood of a car, looking at the engine, the radiator, how everything works together to help you accomplish the one task of getting from point A to point B. I feel like a computer is similar in that because you have the processor, the motherboard, the graphics card. All of these parts are interdependent with each other, and they help you accomplish the task that you're trying to get done. I know that computer engineering is going to be a competitive field because each separate company may be trying to build the same exact thing, but they're going to have their separate deadlines. They'll be trying to beat the other companies and get it out before each other. But I feel like this is perfect for me because I've always been the type of person that thrives under pressure, and I always live for the big moments. Also, I feel like helping people would be a good part of this too. Hardware, and especially computer software, the sole purpose of it, it's made to make our everyday lives easier. So that's why I chose computer engineering. I feel like working at Google Incorporated or Google Seattle would definitely be my dream job. Living at either of these places would be awesome, and Google will always be hiring engineers for the massive upkeep of their database, as well as developing the latest and greatest technology. I feel like having Auburn University on my resume will help me reach my goals in the future. I just want to say thank you guys for watching our presentation.